The moment has arrived.
I pushed the button. It's going to work.
This is going to be scary good, man.
I'm sorry.
We're killing it. It's Maddie Levine with my good friend David Auken. Welcome to the Fight Banana Show.
The ruthless one, Elle Dawson.
Hey, guys.
Our girl, Gillian, the Savage Robertson.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Welcome to the Fight Bananas Show. 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Fight Bananas.
Hey, Dave.
What's up, Maddie? Matt, how are you?
What's happening? Happy Tuesday.
A lot is happening, by the way. A lot.
I know. I'm just glad to see you safe and sound out of Florida and away from the hurricanes. So, how we doing?
We'll get all into that. We'll definitely. Okay. That will be the first end of the first hour. All about hurricanes.
Sounds good.
Talking about hurricanes, we got UFC 307 to talk about. We have Alex Pereira, so much. We have a new champion, so much. But I think we got our first guest ready to go, Maddie. I love this.
Let's do it. Let's bring, she's a rising star in the UFC, and now she's on Fight Bananas. Hey, Shauna Bannon.
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for joining us. It's so nice to have you. Where are you joining us from today?
Tallaght, Dublin, Ireland.
What time is it there?
It's 6 o'clock.
In the
in the evening. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to be like, girl, you could have slept in.
On.
I'm like, I don't know how all the timings work, but thank you for joining us. I'm sure you're a busy gal.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So what's new? What's happening? I mean, we haven't seen you in the cage for a bit, but I'm sure you're grinding behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was hoping to fight again before the end of the year because like my debut and my second fight was a year gap. So that was like a lot for me. I'm so used to being active, like even with my background in kickboxing, I was competing all the time. And then as an amateur, I tried to get as much competition as possible. And then my first 5 fights as a pro, it happened in the space of 12 months. So activity is something that I like and the momentum and all that. So then I made my pro debut and it was like a year off. And that was like, felt like forever. Like, I think I had less than that when I had Jace because I actually fought pregnant.
Right.
I was like 8 weeks pregnant. I fought and then I came back really soon after. So like the big gaps are not something that I'm used to. So it wasn't ideal, but it was just with injuries and I suppose I lost. So I kind of, they gave me a little bit of time to readjust. And then I was hoping to fight in March this year. And then my meniscus tore and flipped. So I had to get that shaved off. And then I was rehabbing that. And then I fought in July. But I was chatting with Mick last week and he said all the cards are full for the year. So it's probably going to be early next year. But I just love then now for next year to just like I'd love 4 fights in 1 year if I could. Like I know that's probably unrealistic, but if I could get that, I would love that because I feel like the more I'm competing, the better I am.
Absolutely.
Shauna, you said so much there. There was like so many things I wanted to say, but I wanted to give you a huge compliment. You know, of course, we've known of you and I know of you and huge fan of everything you're doing. But when I kind of looked at your topology, you're absolutely right. I loved how busy you were and you know, are. Also, your level of competition. Like, I had to check it out. I totally forgot you fought Dakota Ditcheva, who's a mega star right now doing her thing in the PFL.
That was the fight I was pregnant in.
Right. I was going to say that. I was like, it's not like you were fighting a meatball when you were pregnant. You were fighting Dakota Ditcheva. Like,
the poor knee to the belly. I was like, is my son okay in there? Please tell me he's okay.
Oh, my goodness.
And what a stud she is. Like, she has became one of the top female fighters on the planet right now.
Yeah. No, we had a good fight. It was like 5 rounds. We were fighting for a belt.
I saw it.
And my weight cut just like didn't go to plan, obviously, because Jace wanted some fluids and I was trying to dehydrate my body and it was just not happening. So I ended up weighing it because if I didn't make the weight, I think I was like 0.3 over when I got to the scales. And if I didn't make the weight, it wasn't for a belt. And I was like, no, I want to fight for the belt. So we went back to the sauna and they gave an extension or whatever. And I eventually made the weight. But by the time I made the weight, I was so drained. I just slept. I didn't even refuel. And then I fought the next day. And you can tell in my performance, it wasn't like I'm normally so active and busy and throwing everything. And it was a lot of the fight for 2 strikers. The majority of the fight was against the fence. It's mad. Like we were in the clinch for so much of the fight. So like not what was expected for 2 strikers going in, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
With that being said, and I'm sorry, Maddie, I have like one more on this Dakota part of it. Like, she's becoming such a superstar over in the PFL. I hate to plan her future or to talk for her, but you think sooner or later, a year from now, 2 years from now, we see what Kayla Harrison's doing. If she ever transitions into the UFC, would you ever is that something like, hey, 2026, 2027, that is a mega fight with you and Dakota too?
Yeah, like my coach always says, "You will meet again." We're obviously in different divisions now. She fights flyweight. We fought that fight at flyweight, but I then went down to strawweight for my pro career. But who's to say that? I don't think she'd make coming down because she's quite a tall girl. But I could fight flyweight. You never know. So yeah, it could be a match for the future.
Nice.
Well, you've come a long way since that fight, and you're staying as active as you can be. Unfortunately, it sounds like this year is full, but would you ever consider stepping in last minute? I feel like there's always something going on, right? There's always an injury or something.
Yeah, no, and I said that I kind of do the negotiating with myself, and I was like, look, if anything falls through or you need an opponent, I'm here.
Yes,
I
love
would
that
obviously
energy.
prefer to have a full camp, but when there's so little momentum so far since I don't feel like I've even shown anywhere near my full potential in the octagon.
Agree.
I feel like some of my Invicta fights were probably better than my UFC fights. My debut, I think, all happened so fast. I literally got signed and I fought. There was no time to even digest the fact that I was in the UFC. Although, I visualized that for so long because that was the goal. When I got in there, it was, I don't think it was actually fully. And then I had a year to realize it. And my last fight, my knee was still kind of bothering me. I think they said it was 38% weaker than the other leg, which isn't ideal. So I basically fought with half a leg, but I still performed a little bit better when I showed different aspects of the game. We were on the ground, we were wrestling, there was a few different things going on, but still nowhere near what I know I'm capable of and what I'm inspiring and stuff. So I would love to just get momentum and keep going and be active and get to show kind of what I am able to do in there, because I just don't feel like I've got to show that quite yet.
I totally agree, Shauna. And the one thing it's a question / statement is, I agree with you about the future of you and the star and all of that nature. And you said it was always UFC was the goal. And what the UFC does better than, of course, any other promotion is they create superstars. We saw how quick Alex Pereira has joined the UFC and is one of the biggest stars in the industry. Sean O'Malley, of course, we all know with Conor and so much. Was it always your goal to be in the UFC? And if it is that part of it? Because the UFC puts you on this platform of you can become a superstar. I feel like the PFL and Bellator, they're fighters, and the UFC does more, I think, for their fighters becoming, commercials and stars and branching out so much. So was UFC always the goal?
Yeah, after so me and Paddy, we had options to go with people for my pro debut, but we were we're going to keep it local, do the first 2 local, and then make the decision. So when I was fighting for my third pro fight, I had 5 contracts that I was choosing from. So there was PFL, Invicta, KSW, Aries, and what was the other one? I can't remember. Anyways, whatever the other one was.
Ton of options.
Yeah,
so
good problem to have.
It was so stressful. I know it's I had so many options, which is amazing. But it was tough because I was right, if I go to KSW, are they going to just keep me there and I won't be able to get released? But then I had a negotiation with them and they were making the contract shorter. And if the fights didn't happen in a period of time, I was gone. So I was because the money was good. And then the PFL were obviously offering the most. And then, but it was in flyweight. And I wasn't a flyweight, I'm a strawweight. I make a strawweight. I have to diet to make it, but I don't die making it. My last fight, I cut 3 pounds. I'm a strawweight. You know what I mean? So I was oh, and I just feel like PFL might always be there, and it wasn't the road to lead me to the UFC, which was the goal.
Right.
So that was why I went with Invicta, and they gave me the agreement that if they weren't able to give me in a fight, I could get a fight somewhere else. So I was brilliant. And it was an amazing platform. It was a step up in competition. It was a step up in arena, the experience, the crowd, the everything. It was a stepping stone to the UFC. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So obviously I'm so glad that I made that decision and I went with them, and because sometimes like people are like it's about the money, but it's not. It's about the experience and the opportunities, and then where you can go from there. Are they going to tie you there and not let you go? Are they going to, like, do you know what I mean? So there was so
Yeah.
much to take into consideration, and I didn't go for the most money. I went for where I thought was going to get me to the UFC, and I was very clear with them signing the contract that like my goal is to be in the UFC, and I think most promoters understand that. Like, do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's the pinnacle of the sport. So
Mhm.
yeah, I had a great time in Invicta, and then I had another fight back home defending one of my belts, and then I was supposed to fight on Cage Warriors Dublin after my 5th pro fight, so for my
Okay.
6th one, and it fell through. They couldn't get me matched, and like I was going to do catch weights, and it never happened, and it fell through. And then the opportunity came up for the UFC, and I was like, yeah, sign me up, because after my 5th win in Invicta, they were like, you're fighting for the belt next. And then the person that had the belts didn't want to fight, and there was all this back and forth, and I was like, look, you said to me face to face that I was going to fight for the belt, and then it didn't happen, and it was just politics.
Yeah.
But then look, I think everything happens for a reason, because when you fight for the belt you have to defend it once, and like obviously you want to get titles and belts. That's like, I've done that my whole career, but also opportunity is huge. So I think it worked out well in the end, and I got to the
You're a
UFC.
scary opponent, Shauna. You're a scary
Mhm.
opponent. They don't want to sign that letter. They don't want to sign that
Seriously.
paper.
But you know what? You played it smart. You
Yeah.
thought about your future. And what I really liked what you said was you didn't take the most money, but you took what's going to give you the most reps, important reps. And I think what a lot of young fighters do is they're so hell bent on getting that perfect record instead of actually getting good, solid competition, that
Yeah.
when they do get to the UFC, they crumble, right? So I'm really excited to see you just kind of evolve in the cage. I mean, we saw it from your first fight to the second one. So
Yeah.
now, I mean, what are your hopes to bring out in the third one?
I think like the first one was just a blur. The second one, I think I was I was only talking to the sports psychologist that I work with the other day about this, and I was like, it was like I was focusing too much on not like on losing, like instead of just
Right.
performing. It was like, I can't lose, I can't lose, I can't lose, I can't lose, because I could get dropped. I'm on another loss, and I can't fucking feel how I felt after that UFC loss, because that debut killed me. It was a low time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I felt like the whole nation was looking at me, and those people that were tuning in for the first time never seen me fight before, and then I fought like that, and I was just like, for fuck's sake, like really, is this actually like? It was tough. So yeah, I think like just finding my flow and showing like the mixed martial artist that I am, because like I'm confident in my wrestling and my grappling, and like people say I'm a striker, but like I'm a grappler as well. Do you know what I mean? Like I won the
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu World Championships last year. I only got my purple belt, and I won it like 2 weeks later. So like I'm confident in my grappling. And I think like I'd like to just show more of like me flowing, rather than, I feel like some of my fights have been a little bit repetitive, whereas like my Invicta fights, I'm doing spinny shit, I'm like I'm doing all different things, I'm throwing them, I'm on the
You're
floor,
more
I'm picking my
free.
feet, and do you know what I mean? And I just don't feel like I've gotten to that flow of things in the UFC. So like, and I know that's what they signed me for, because they seen that in me, and I just want to show that now. And like obviously you want to get a knockout and or a submission and a finish, but I also want to just perform, because I
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't think I've fully performed in
Yeah.
the
Love
UFC.
Shauna, we know you have to get running here in a couple of minutes, but we love bringing in people that ask questions and the fans that are watching it live with us. So here's one for you, making the walk. They said, hey, Shauna, would you prefer your next fight be in the US, or are you more happy fighting in the UK region?
I get asked this all the time. I don't care. Like the arena, and I know it's mad. Like, but the arena doesn't matter to me. If I fight in the Apex in my next fight,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
fine with that. I'm actually fine with that. Like, obviously, the travel is not ideal, because I have to leave a little bit longer to be away from Jace, because
Mm.
the time difference and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's way easier for it to be in the UK. But at the same time, I just want to fight. So I'm like, wherever. Bring me to China. I don't care. I'll fight wherever.
Put me in, coach. Put me
I
in.
like it. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
Well, you have a lot of great people in your corner. And I know you said like after that loss, losing sucks and it doesn't feel good. But you have people to lean on, like Molly McCann, who seems like a great friend of yours. Did she
Yeah.
give you some advice after that loss?
Yeah, we were both kind of in the same position, weren't we? And we were like straight after that, we went to Thailand for like a month. So we were
Ooh.
just together and like training and trying to just build back up the confidence. And then she went and she had a grappling show and she won by an armbar. And then she cornered me in the jiu-jitsu world and I won the world title. So we kind of had those like little wins together. And it was nice to get back on the Willing column. And then she went on, she had a fight in the February then and won as well, but with another unreal armbar in the UFC. And like it's nice to have someone there that's been with me since the start in the UFC and like kind of helped me about things that like I didn't know about. She'd be like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, and she's just so kind, and it's great to have her there on the highs and the lows because
She
it's all
seems
part
like
of
a
the
good
journey.
friend. She seems
Yeah,
like a good
she
friend
is.
and a good time.
Yeah,
Yes,
she is a
that's for
good
sure.
time.
That's
She's
for
in
sure.
Ibiza now. I'm sure she's living her best life.
I love
love
that.
it.
We'll let you run after this. We would just love your kind of put a bow if you can. If you watch, I would assume UFC 307, two big female fights in the bantamweight division. Kayla Harrison winning and Juliana Pena becoming a new champion. Alex Pereira. Anything else on that card really jumped at you? What's your, like I said, put a little bow on UFC 307 for us.
Do you know, I think Kayla is like looking at her coming in from the PFL. She's a superstar there, and like obviously she still is a superstar, but I just have so much respect from her. She's a single mother as well, so I can kind of relate to her in them ways. And I think like there's so much pressure on her. Like there's so much pressure. Like she's just expected, and like she's fighting top ranked opponents, and like she's not getting bums in there. Do you know what I mean? And I think
Right.
people are like, I don't know if she just doesn't get the respect she deserves sometimes, I feel. Like I feel like some people throw it back in her face, and then obviously some people do, but I just think she's like a really nice attribute to the bantamweight division because it was gone a bit stale. Like there was a couple at the top, but I think it's nice to kind of brighten it up, and I'm excited to see her future.
She's got a great personality too. Like she's
Yeah.
funny.
She
She's
just
funny.
seems genuine, doesn't she?
Oh, she crushed it at the press conference. She crushed it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this to say this. I go to a lot of the PFL events. I met Kayla Harrison 5-7 times. We've messaged each other so many times. She is awesome. Like she is really cool. And like you said, she is as real as it gets. There's no sugarcoating. And I really respect that. I respect someone that can tell you what's up, how they feel. She is who she is. And
yeah.
Dude,
A fair
she's
play
next.
to her for making
She's next.
bantamweight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
dude.
does that.
She's a
Her
unit.
biceps are like, I'm like, how the fuck do you make bantamweight, girl?
I know, it's wild. It's wild.
Shauna, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We are massive fans of you. The next time when you have that fight announcement or before, we would love to have you back on the show. We know you got to run. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon, friend.
Thank you so much, guys. Chat soon. Have a nice day.
Take
Later,
care,
Shauna.
Shauna.
Thank you,
Hope to
Shauna
talk to you
Bannon,
soon.
UFC's star. What a stud.
I can't wait to see her get back in there because she's so right. Like she has not shown the UFC fans what she's capable of yet. And I have to say this, my husband Ross, I wanted to bring this up to her, but I didn't want to put her on the spot. My husband Ross and her grew up in the karate circuit together. So my husband is very familiar with her skills. And when she got signed to the UFC, he was kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like she's going to crush it, you know? So I'm really excited to see her just grow and evolve.
How insane was UFC 307, Maddie? It was so good.
So I was nervous because, correct me if I'm wrong, but Noche UFC was the previous pay-per-view, right?
Yep. Yeah. UFC
so
306.
I'm like, how, like, poor UFC 307. They have to follow Noche UFC. Like, it's going to be like lackluster, whatever.
Over-delivered.
It was so good. It was so good.
We were doing the watch along, Maddie, and it's just one of those things. And I say it all the time, even with commentary. And I know you know this, you don't know what to say, or you don't know what's going to happen because of the show. Whatever they give you is what you kind of get. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, it was awesome. Actually, my brother kind of was in town too, as well as for the watch along. It was so much fun. The show was great. The fights were awesome. The back and forth. It was one of my, I think, at least for me, one of my favorite watch alongs. And I thought those 6 fights, Buckley on, was just incredible.
They were so good. I think Joaquin Buckley proved that he's in the correct division, and he did what he had to do, you know, like he had to make it ugly if he wanted to get that knockout. So,
yeah, dude, I'm in the East Coast. I live in Florida. I am a Florida guy, huge Florida. We are not in Florida right now. I'm just going to say that we're in an undisclosed location. Yeah, man, it's very scary out there. So I was going to say that too, especially people are still not getting over the first storm, guys. The first hurricane, Helena, now Milton, really serious stuff. I can't even tell you how many friends and family members live in Florida, especially so much of the MMA community. Tampa's a huge spot. Of course, Coconut Creek and Orlando's a huge spot. Man, it's serious. It is very, very.
I know
very
Elle and Grant are on their way to Vegas, so
yeah, it's a Grant Dawson fight week.
It is a Grant Dawson fight week. This is gonna be great.
I know. So we'll talk about Grant in a second. We still got you much 307, but let me, Sean. First and foremost, you're right. I thought it was wild that Roundtree got the fight opportunity, the championship opportunity. Let me say that. But absolutely more than delivered. He freaking superstar, even on a losing performance. I just think Alex is that good. I don't even think Roundtree lost the fight. I think Alex Pereira won the fight, Maddie. What's your take on that? I thought Alex even went to another galaxy last.
Yeah, well, the more you know, right? Because it's like after the fight, we find out that he was dealing with illness, he was dealing with injuries. Would it have been, a wrap the way that Pereira usually fights if he was 100% healthy? Maybe. But the matter of the fact is he wasn't. And Khalil Roundtree, I'm sorry, that dude is a fucking monster. Like, we have not seen up until that point people take as much damage from Alex Pereira as Roundtree did. Like, he was not going to go down. He was not going to do it.
He just kept
coming. And he had incredible blitzes, great striking. He was listening to his coaches really well.
Yeah, good point.
But as soon as Pereira found the front leg, like, it was over. It was a wrap. But
good point.
I am 100% a huge fan of Roundtree now. I always respected him, but now it's like you can't help but look at him a little differently. Like, oh damn.
Yeah.
With
that being said, I you know me, Maddie. I think I'm always the half glass is half full, not glass half empty. I'm a positive guy. It is what it is. We've seen fighters have kind of those huge performances, kind of like a underdog, crazy great performance, but then it doesn't go well for them afterwards because they just went through that. Guys like Dominic Reyes, we all thought Dominic Reyes maybe beat John Jones, and then all of a sudden, it's okay. Yeah, do the back. I got one of these too. I look at that.
Dude, I'm 31 and my back is fucking killing me. What is happening?
Maddie, it happens quick. Okay, it happens quick. I'm 40 now. It happens quick. But we see Jefferson. It's wild to see, especially those are two light heavyweights too. Like, I am really intrigued to see Roundtree. And you ready for this one? I hope he takes a long, extended break. There's no reason to get him back in there. I'm not even joking. I know this was early October. I don't want to see this man to the summer of 2025. Just chill, relax. He got his biggest payday ever.
Yep.
It will be a big fight if it's against Jamahal Hill, if it's against maybe the loser of Rockridge or Ankalaev.
I'm hoping for Jamahal Hill.
Okay.
Because this dude needs to shut the fuck up. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
you're so right.
You're in the crowd yawning, bro. Like, stop pretending like that was a boring fight. That
was one of the best fights of the year.
That was not a boring fight. Like, shut up. And you look fat right now. Sorry. You look out of shape, out of practice, and you're gonna sit there. Shut up.
Keep coming.
I can't stand him. And I used to be the biggest fan of him. I used to really like him. And then he just goes and becomes a stupid head.
Keep going.
No, listen, I got it off my chest. That's all it was.
This is the Maddie Levine show, guys. I'm just here I'm here in the background. She's drinking a great drink.
Yeah, Sean, absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. Alex saying he must have just woke up from 300.
So funny.
So fucking funny. Hurricane Maddie, here I come, bitch. Here I come. Let's go.
I love this right now. I love this.
I'm 100% with Jamahal versus Khalil. Jamahal is a circle.
This is so good. I did not know we were going down this hole, but this is amazing.
I had to get it off my chest because this dude talks so much shit and he has not backed it up in a very long time. And it's just like, okay, you lost to Alex Pereira. Just get over it and move on to the next fight. That's it.
I was just going to say that. It's so funny. I don't mind, and I'm the opposite, but I don't mind this in my fighters, the UFC guys. If Conor's doing his thing and he's living his life, like Ilya Topuria, you can say whatever you want. He is that man right now. He just knocked out Volkanovski. He can say or do whatever. But I'm 100% with you, Maddie. Jamahal, you fought Alex. You got knocked out in the first round.
And like
Roundtree had one of the best fights of the year, one of the best performances of the year. He went 4 rounds. That fight was awesome, back and forth. I think all 3 judges had Roundtree winning round 1. That was a phenomenal fight. Why is this guy yawning? What is he?
Yeah. Like,
it's
what do you
the,
think that was going to do for you?
Losery thing ever. It's like such a
so cringy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to get into the brain of Jamahal, right? Like him, like leaning over and being like, "Watch this." Oh, like, bro, you look dumb.
You're becoming Henry Cejudo. You're becoming Kobe Covington. You're becoming that guy. Like, I thought Jamahal was
the king of cringe. Can fight, and I'm not saying Jamahal Hill can't. Like, I'm not going to discredit this man. Like, he was a champion for a reason. He's a very good contender. But bro, shut up. Okay, I'm so glad you put this on because see this. This is me. What's the word? Being disciplined. This is only half of a Celsius.
Okay.
I poured half the Celsius in because I need to cut down on the caffeine. So this is me on half a Celsius, baby.
There's no one better, guys. Maddie Levine, one of the best in the books. Hey, Maddie, shout out. What you got your YouTube channel flowing?
Yeah,
and running
we're trying to get the YouTube channel rocking and rolling again. I started it a while back, and full disclosure, I got lazy with it, and I kind of let it die. So we're gonna bring it back to life, baby. So find me on YouTube at Maddie Loves Fights, at Maddie Loves Fights, 2 Ds. And we're gonna just try and do a lot more content. So yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try. But yeah, Jamahal Hill, shut up.
With that being said, that's kind of we went down that rabbit hole. Amazing, by the way. We went there back to Alex Pereira. Like, oh my goodness, this guy is that guy. Like,
He's that guy.
We all dream when we cover mixed martial arts. We talk about mixed martial arts, all this stuff. This is like the guy. Like, this is everything that we wake up and we're like, hey, we're gonna make a fighter. Chimaev had this for like 3 months in the COVID era, Fight Island. This guy fights all challengers, short notice, just and not even that. His probably his most underrated thing about him is he really is a funny guy. He really is. He knows how to use the media and talk to media. Him and Nina are amazing together. Like, dude, this is it. Like, this is
our dream. This is the hero that we were waiting for. This is Conor McGregor exit, Alex Pereira enter. Like, it is what we've been wanting.
And so during the fight night for the live show, Leprechaun, we'll get into it. We got to get UFC Vegas 98, Grant Dawson, big main event. We'll get into all that. The question came up, what fighter is the most, like, what's the guy that's going to get you to the screen? What's the guy that's going to make you order the pay-per-view? And we all said those same names, right? We all said Max Holloway. We all said Justin Gaethje. We all said Dustin Poirier. But it's funny. It was 4 men, 4 different ages, 4 different fan types of fighters. All 4 of us said Alex is the number 1 draw right now. Even I think we're on the same page of this as too, Maddie. I'm over Conor McGregor. Like, I don't care. He's never going to fight again. I don't care if I see him fight again. I'm over it. If it happens, cool. It's probably going to be good for business. I'm cool with that. But Alex is the guy. He is the number 1 draw for me in the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I speak for a lot of us when I say I'm just disappointed in who Conor became. It's like we wanted him to be the Alex Pereira, that, like, the way that Alex Pereira conducts himself in and out of the cage. We wanted that from Conor McGregor, and we just didn't get it. So him leaving the UFC, I'm okay with it. You know, I would love to see him fight again. I'm still that person that's like, it's gonna happen. But, you know, it's probably not going to. But when it comes to Alex Pereira, it is so cool to watch him evolve. So I've been following him since Glory Kickboxing.
Yeah.
And he's a man of few words, you know? But as his star rises, he's developing his personality. He's sharing his humor. He's starting those memes now. He had a really funny meme during fight week. It's like, okay, like this is the full package.
How, Maddie, his catchphrase, his line is chama. You ready for this one? I still don't know what that means, but it's amazing. I say,
it's
me
like
and my brother were saying,
slang.
I say it to my son, like he's doing something, I'm like, chama. And
Yeah,
we're like, yeah.
it's like slang Portuguese. I think he said it's something like let's go, like let's fucking go. But
Okay.
it's like slang.
Dude, I like it even better now.
Yeah, like, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like not an actual word, which is even more wild.
It's going to become a word. He literally created a word.
Yeah.
Amazing. Guys, Gillian the Savage Robertson, 28 minutes, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Guys, after Gillian, Karisa Maxwell is going to come on. We're going to talk to her all about UFC 307 and more. We always love us some Karisa Maxwell, so a lot more to get into. I do want to go into the Grant Dawson thing, but I still think we got to rewind a little bit. I know you talked to Elle a lot about this, but Kayla Harrison also was a mega superstar, won the fight. And I know people are going to be like, really? I like that she went 3 rounds, lost the second round to one judge. I thought she lost the second round, and I'm a huge Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pro Kayla person. I thought she lost the second round, but she came back, showed how to 15 minutes. The cardio looked amazing at the end of the third round. I thought that was the performance I needed to see. I'm ready. Like this. Oh, yeah. Of course. Dude, we got so much content in Fight Bananas Land, guys. So much. Elle and Maddie goes live every Sunday. James Lynch, a ton of content, guys. I'm telling you, subscribe to the new YouTube channel. I am so ready for the Kayla Harrison title fight opportunity against Julia Pena. That build-up in that fight, Maddie, I cannot wait.
If Juliana Pena fights Kayla Harrison the way that she fought Raquel Pennington,
oh my goodness,
she is going to die. She's going to die. I was so unimpressed by that co-main event fight. It really irked me because we're watching this fight. My husband and I are watching this fight, and we keep saying the same thing over and over again. How are these women former champions? They're making weird decisions, zero footwork.
Julia Pena fights like she's like a piece of wood is attached to her shoulders and her arm. Now,
a friend of mine said this. I can't take credit for this, but they were
take it. I don't know your friend. Take it.
They were like, if you took away the UFC logo and slapped a Barstool Sports Rough and Rowdy logo on it, you would believe it. And I'm like, yeah, I would. Because it's just like everything just looked so mediocre. And I'm just like, what is happening? And Elle made a really good point on Sunday saying, is this a case of a bad performance, or is this a case of two fighters listening to their coaches to a T? Because if you listen to the coaches in between the rounds, Raquel's coach never picked up on the fact that she was crushing the front leg whenever she went for it. They never picked up on that. And then you had Juliana Pena's coach not really telling her, like, hey, you're winning the grappling exchanges. Keep doing that. Like, they just didn't evolve. Like, oh, Sean, I'm not hating on Rough and Rowdy.
I think he's saying it to be funny. That's a good comment.
It's
right
fun.
There. Sean
it's
Sterling.
Fun.
Well played.
It's fun.
Very well played.
But yeah, you got to adapt. Like, I understand that all fighters have a game plan for sure, but you have to adapt.
By the way, who did you have winning that fight, by the way?
I truly thought Pennington won. I really thought Pennington won.
1, 2, and 3?
I had her winning 1, 4, and 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. She came back at the end. Okay, so
because the first round was close.
First round was close.
It was razor sharp. So I think it really came down to whoever you gave round 1 to.
Right. Okay. And you ready for this one? Did you not think at all for a quick second that could have been a 4th round 10-8 for Rocky?
Mm,
The head kick buzzed her. Then she gets the right
yeah.
hand. She kind of like knocked her down once, twice. Could have
Okay,
been a 10-8.
perfect example of what the fuck, okay? You literally just knocked the girl down with a
I know.
beautiful low high, right?
Yeah.
How do you not go back to the combination?
And what does Juliana Pena do well?
No, I'm just kidding. She grapples
To me,
well.
she's good at to
Power
me,
punching.
she's good at pressuring. She's
Yeah.
good at grappling. She's just good. She has a little bit of, and I'm gonna put this comment back up. She has a little Bilal Muhammad to her. She's just like in your face. She's moving forward. She's like this. She just wants to grab a hold of you. She's to me not good in space. Like she is not good, and that's what Amanda did to her that second fight. Amanda got Juliana off of her and was just striking like
Right.
a lioness. She's not
Counter
good in space.
counter strikes were crazy.
So when Rocky had her buzz not once but twice, get away from her and buzz her again.
Again, yeah.
Alex Pereira at the end of the Roundtree fight didn't clinch with them. He kept it was how amazing was he was like, I got
Distance
this.
control.
Yeah.
Distance control.
Yes, like
And
the
it's not
damage
like
that
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying the damage that Alex did that last minute or two, so many fighters would have rushed that minute and
Yes.
maybe gassed, maybe missed, or that's when you get into that wild, bar
That's when
fight because
accidents
the other
happen.
guy, yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought Alex was amazing at it, and Rocky was horrendous at it. Like she would buzz her and then
And then go back to the jab.
hold her, like
Or hold her. Yeah. Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah. I was very frustrated.
No. I totally disagree with that.
Same.
The damage is why she would got a 10-8. She knocked her down. She definitely knocked her down once. And the head kick was amazing. The head kick, I will give Juliana credit. She kind of like fell down, kind of like what Poatan did, like kind of fell like, oh, I'm buzzed.
Tried to
I
find
didn't
the
go
cage,
down.
yeah.
A rear naked choke is a submission attempt. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Like I give her credit for winning the round. I don't give her a 10-8. So, hey, making the walk. You've had good comments. A lot of it. We got your question. I do disagree with that comment. Disagree. The grappling is good. I totally agree. Wrestling, stalling, and control. That's Juliana Pena. Like, sorry, that's her.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You had 3 champs. That's why Aldo's fight should have been a win for also. Yeah, for all. I agree. To me, Jose Aldo won that fight. Jose Aldo struck better, was more aggressive, had more damage.
We kind of touched upon this fight on Sunday because
What
Dana
show is
White.
that on Sunday?
What's that?
What show is that on Sunday?
Oh, the Sunday Morning Brew with Maddie and Elle, where we talk about what's brewing in MMA. And it's awesome.
Right, I'm watermarking that at 38 minutes and 4 seconds. That is a commercial, friends.
Sunday afternoons. Or no, mornings, excuse me. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Anyway, we touched upon this fight because Dana White kind of went after Mario's game plan. And we were talking about, was it stalling or was it a good game plan? I thought, now this is coming from a person who loves striking, I thought it was a good game plan. You have Jose Aldo, who's very good on the feet, who was winning those striking exchanges. So of course I'm going to push you to the cage. And if you're so good at takedown defense, then why couldn't you get off the cage?
Okay, but Maddie, if I could say, I agree with what you're saying. Okay, but my thing that I will say, it's a good game plan, but that doesn't mean you're winning. Does that make sense? Like, it's a good game plan. It is a way not to lose, and it is a way to not get knocked out.
Yeah.
But is that a way to win? And that's my thing. And maybe I'm so ABC, or maybe I'm so like, I'm definitely not.
It's a great point, because I think a lot of people will do it to stall. But would you consider what he was doing stalling?
Yes, I do. He was just holding them against the cage. He never tried to. after the first round, he stopped trying to wrestle him down. He stopped trying to wrestle to get a submission attempt. He was just holding him, Maddie. He wasn't doing anything. And I say this all the time. My two favorite fighters, my two best friends that are fighters in the UFC are Grant Dawson and Gillian Robertson. Grapplers. They're grapplers. But one reason why I think I do love them so much, why I'm attracted to them so much, is that they want to finish the fight. They are savages, pun intended. They want to end it any way possible. Rear naked choke, elbows, ground and pound for Grant. Grant wants a finish on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's spoiler alert
at all times.
Sorry. He wants a finish. Like Mario Batista, Maddie, did not want to finish on Saturday night. He was just, like you said, and I totally agree. He was just doing the game plan. Like, that's not a fight. Like,
it was frustrating to watch for sure. The judges were frustrating too. And Joe Rogan, like,
he was on one, wasn't he?
He was on one. And they were coming after the judges that night. Like, basically accusing the judges of not watching. And then, like, between him and DC, they just kept poking jabs at the judges all night. Yeah. I was like, it was a little awkward.
To me, something had to happen behind the scenes. Something had to happen with Utah and the commission and with the UFC, or I feel like something happened. Like, they usually don't go that route. And like you said, they were hammering it, Maddie, like boom, boom,
they
boom.
kept bringing them up. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was weird.
Like, somebody upset Joe Rogan. Like one of the people definitely upset him.
Yeah. It was very, very, very weird. Very weird. Okay. So I clipped it a ton. Your and L's back and forth with Buckley and Wonderboy, I thought was awesome. Did you anything change over the last 2 days or any stuff from?
No, I think Wonderboy looked fantastic. And all the trolls came piling in talking about, like, so I said he looked fantastic until he didn't. Tell me where the lie is, because all the trolls telling me that is a ridiculous thing to say. Tell me where the lie is, because Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was winning every round. Yes. I think the first round was a little close, if I remember correctly. But when it comes to movement, when it comes to fight IQ, when it comes to striking, he was winning all of those things. The moment that Joaquin Buckley made it ugly and got weird is when he got the knockout, and that's exactly what he had to do. Stephen Wonderboy
2 months ago, Maddie,
fantastic.
And then I want you to finish up, please. 2 months ago, I was driving from Atlanta back home. I got a speeding ticket. I was driving so well and so fast and in between everything until I got caught.
Until you got caught.
I got the ticket. I totally understood what you were saying, and not that I will triple down on you. I agree. Yeah. Wonderboy looked awesome. Like I thought I thought Wonderboy was going to win that fight. I picked Wonderboy to win the fight. He was winning that fight until he wasn't, until he got knocked out. Like, and that happens. And if you're pro Buckley, I get it. Maybe that's what Buckley was trying to do the whole time, and he got it. So we're not throwing shade at Buckley, but Wonderboy did look awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And he's 41 years old. You can't tell me that's not old in the UFC. That is old in the UFC. That is 65. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry, but if you were a UFC fighter, Dave, you'd be 73. That's just the math. So I don't know how
I'm dealing with a hurricane. I got 5 kids outside yelling at me. I'm not even in my house. Can you give me a break, Maddie? Can you give me a break?
I'm just fucking with you. But Joaquin making a much better call out than his previous call out. Him and MVP. Yeah. Everybody wants to see it because they're both karate people. They both have that same karate style. I think MVP wipes the floor with Wonderboy, unfortunately.
Whoa.
I do.
I disagree. I got Wonderboy. I'm a Wonderboy guy.
Really? No. Yeah, I'm a Wonderboy guy. MVP is way too fast and way too slick. And he's so smart. Like, he's not going to allow Wonderboy to have control of the cage and to have distance and to let Wonder Boy do his thing. When Buckley started winning, it was because he started overcrowding Wonder Boy and making it ugly. I think MVP with his length and just with his overall weird timing, like I don't know. I think he wipes the floor with Wonder Boy.
Real quick, I really want to go on UFC Vegas 98, give some Grant Dawson love. We'll talk about how great Grant is of a human being for the next 20 minutes, if you don't mind. But before that, did you see that really good promo that the PFL put out on Francis and Renan Ferreira? Like that commercial?
I don't think I did.
Oh, it's pretty good. But later, tomorrow or the next day, I'm here. I got the family with me, but hey, content's king. I still got to make content. I'm going to make a video on a negative video on PFL and what they're doing wrong. I got 2 major points, so I want to save it for that. But yeah,
love it.
I'm taking out the sword. All right.
Okay, I'm here for it.
Maddie Levine,
I'm proud of you. I will be keeping my eyes open for that one.
There you go. It'll be on Fight Bananas.
All right, perfect.
So.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, this weekend, UFC Vegas 98. We keep it going forward. UFC 308's around the corner. But this weekend, a pivotal flyweight matchup. Really, 2 guys. I would assume the winner will fight Pantoja or whoever the UFC flyweight champion is in the early 2025. I think that's where they're going. But guys, Fight Bananas is family. Elle Dawson is in the fabric of Fight Bananas. Her husband, Grant Dawson, who's been on our platform 30 times. We literally did a UFC card break late last week, had a great talk with him. He's fighting this week, this Saturday, and is the biggest bet-in favorite on the whole card, Maddie.
Let's go.
Let's go.
He's so good, man. He's so good.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't talk about this fight, Leprechaun. We don't talk about this. We pretend like it didn't happen. That fight didn't happen.
I don't even know what he means.
He's good enough to be in the UFC. He's very good, but him being stopped by King Green was bad to end his winning streak. Like it didn't look good for him to lose against Bobby Green.
Bro, if you're not Khabib Nurmagomedov, every single fighter in the UFC history, Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes, Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya, Islam Makhachev, every fighter has lost in the UFC. Like,
yeah, it happens. It happens when you are in a fist fight. Literally anything can happen. And yes. Grant Dawson is, let's see, 21-2. That's a pretty good percentage of wins.
Is that good?
I think it's good. I think
imagine if you made dinner 23 times and your significant other, Ross Levine, my wife, would be like, dude, that was unbelievable dinner. I would take that every day.
I would take it every day. I would take it every day. And I think he's going to do fantastic this weekend and prove why he deserves one of the top spots.
Leprechaun saying that Bobby Green's old. Bobby Green is older in the tooth for sure, but he's still a dangerous fighter and still is offensively really good. And a flash knockout happened, my man. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's exactly what it was. A flash knockout.
Yeah. He didn't beat him for 15 minutes. Me and Grant talk about this on air and off air, so I feel like I can say this. He would have been more discouraged if Bobby dominated him for 15 minutes. It's like, ooh, what's happening? Like
1,000%.
It was a flash knockout. It was a jab that he didn't see, and then the next thing he's like, what happened? It was over.
Yep. Ross says this all the time. He said, if I'm gonna get beat, I better get knocked out. Because I don't want to get ragdolled for 3 rounds, 5 rounds. Yeah. Much rather get it sounds morbid, but when you really break it down, it makes sense.
Oh, I 100% like this show, Maddie. I rather this. I don't want to say struck by lightning because it's the whole can't say anything about the weather. I hope the power turns off on this computer and the show is just off. I don't want you and me to be bad for 2 hours. Like that would be even worse. Like I just want it to end.
Right. A couple other fights that I'm looking forward to. Oh, what do we got with his style? Grant's poised to go on a run. Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
I'm excited to see what he does next.
And be real quick, Maddie, one more thing on the Grant and the run. Like look at 15, 12, 8, 6. What Moicano just did
Mm.
I see the similar what Grant's going to do. Guys, Benoit St. Denis, Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner, these are dangerous men, but they can be grappled and beat up. I don't want to say easily, but that's their weakness, and that's where Grant is strong. And
Mhm.
I know this. I'm lucky enough to know a lot about behind-scenes stuff. A lot of those guys say no to Grant Dawson to a fight. They don't want to fight Grant. They know it's a bad matchup.
Mhm.
Sorry.
I think it's so wild that you can say no. You know what I mean? Like you are on the UFC roster and you're allowed to say no.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not the first time I've heard that. Like whether it pertains to Grant or somebody else, but when fighters are presented a fight, and you can be like, no, I don't want that one. Like, give me an easier fight, or give me this person, give me that. But like,
the two things. One, sometimes I do agree. Sometimes timing is wrong or location is wrong. I totally
yeah.
understand that.
Well,
I know
what I mean is like, if you don't want to fight the person because you think you're gonna lose, you shouldn't be
right.
able to say no.
No, I agree with that. Sometimes the UFC will go back to it because the
Yeah.
UFC wants that matchup for a reason because they know they know what you're doing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Again, we talked to Dean Thomas, we talked to Gillian about it. She didn't take that fight with Angela Hill. It wasn't about Angela Hill. It was about the quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And they know that she wanted the matchup. And now with Angela Hill losing, like they're probably not going that route, but it was just a quick turnaround. So they
Mhm.
do that. And Sean
Mhm.
Sterling, my man, absolutely. This is from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Is that a Baja Blast?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
So good.
Jelly.
You ready for this one? Maddie, you'll respect this story, I think. So Saturday night was one of the busiest days in her life. By the way, the Nightmares Dylan soccer team absolutely dominated. We got our first win of the season, so we're
Their
1-0.
names are the Nightmares.
Yeah. We give the other team nightmares.
Love it. That's fantastic.
Then we had a big church activity. So we had a big thing. And then my brother was in town. It was a big UFC. So we did the UFC. I don't get home to 2:00, 2:15. Then I watched the post fight. I'm not telling. I went to bed at 3 a.m. I'm up at 8:15 to get to church the next morning. Then Sunday was filled with family time, football time, church time. And then I'm just going to be brutally honest. I had a bad night Sunday night. Like Sunday night, the hurricane was coming. I was just worried and uneasy and unsteady. I should have went to bed at 9 or 10. I was up to 2 a.m. watching maps of a hurricane. So had a bad Sunday night. Last night, we had we got the house together and drove to our undisclosed location. I'm on no sleeps, Maddie. I'm just on no sleep. I slept great last night. I don't even remember the night. We walked into this beautiful house. I put my head on a pillow and then woke up at 8 a.m. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Damn,
Send the check, man, dude. Yeah, thanks, Dawson. Come on, dude. They're not paying us. Send the check.
For real.
Oh, dude. Got a Taco Bell right down the street.
Oh my God. I would fuck up Taco Bell right now.
Bro. Yeah, I'm gonna DoorDash it. You're a champ, Dave. Thanks, dude.
Speaking of soccer accidents, I just saw my nephew play in his soccer game last weekend.
Mhm.
He's 3. And it is the cutest thing ever. Got a message from my sister-in-law this morning. The poor thing broke his leg. I know. Let me get this picture. It honestly broke my heart to see this picture because he's just like the sweetest little thing. And the poor thing got a huge look at him.
Oh my goodness. Casted up. Looks like
Casted.
Conor McGregor.
So I said, what happened? She goes, he was doing karate moves in the game room.
I respect that. That's the way to break a leg.
It was definitely a jab at Auntie. Like the tiniest jab. He was doing karate moves in the game room.
No. That's a good kid right there. That's a good kid. Look at Uncle Drew's in the building. Saturday night watch along was one. I'm telling you, Maddie, one of these times we'll fly you down. We have to do the watch alongs in person because of the time, and we tried that a couple times. It's just off and weird in the sound. We got to fly you down. The watch alongs have been electric lately. Electric. It's a vibe.
What's the story with UFC? What is it? Tampa?
Yeah.
UFC Tampa?
We're trying to get the suite if the building's still around after this damn storm.
Oh,
but
don't say that.
I know,
Don't say
dude.
that.
I'm in the dumps about it. I'm in the
I know.
dumps. I'm bummed. I'm bummed out.
I know.
Bummed out. All right.
Anywho.
All right. Taco Bell took over, but yeah, Saturday night was a scene. Absolute
love
scene.
it.
I agree. Uncle Drew was unreal.
So I do you want to wait for these entertainment segments? Or do you want to get into one?
Give us one because we got G on and then we got Karisa. And I know Karissa's in the entertainment life as well. So she'll be right up that alley with you.
That's true.
But yeah, let's give one. Give one.
Did Amanda Nunes just hint at her return?
Okay. I'm happy you said that because I want to talk to both ladies that are coming on, but this is great. We'll transition right into it. For sure. Absolutely. And
I have the video ready for you.
Oh, do it. Oh, yeah.
I got it ready to go. So Amanda Nunes hopped on Instagram today. She tagged Dana White and she decided to do a little dancey dance. And let me make sure. Oop, those are my DMs. Give me 1 second here. There it is. Okay. Check this out.
Não acredito que você não vá me procurar. Já sofri demais além do que mereço. Quero fora, por favor.
I miss you so much.
Tô morrendo de saudade. Eu tô.
All right, that's enough. So I miss you so much. That's what she's saying.
I got 10 things. One, it's happening. So there you go. It's happening.
She looked pretty fit.
She looked amazing. It's Amanda Nunes, the greatest female fighter to ever live. So it is happening. I guess we just got to get G on this conversation.
We do.
This is so good. I know G's a massive fan of Amanda Nunes and her spirit and stuff. So let's get in the savage one. Camp fight week is going. Dude, by the way, huge Halloween post. I love Gillian and Halloween. Gillian the Savage Robertson. What's up, G?
What is up? How are you guys doing?
What's happening? Hey, doggy.
We're doing phenomenal. I don't know if you just saw, we had a great Amanda Nunes video, or if you just saw her on IG. Gee, she's coming back. It's happening.
Yeah.
So
I heard you guys saying something about that whenever I came in, and I hadn't seen it on IG or anything. So I'm like kind of like I was like, wait,
Maddie,
what are they talking about?
All right, here we go.
Here
Here we go.
watch it.
Let me
Here we
play
go.
it again.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Please call me. I miss you so much. Can't wait to see you. She's coming back, dude.
She's coming back. Okay. So my question to both of you first and foremost, would you put Kayla on pause, do the trilogy fight with Juliana Pena, have them go after each other, have maybe Amanda as the champion and have Kayla go after Amanda as the challenger? Or do you do Kayla versus Juliana? Hope to God, of the MMA gods above, Kayla smashes her like we all do, and Kayla's the champion, and you have Amanda going after Kayla.
What do you got?
I don't know which one would be better. I feel like it'd be disrespectful not to give Amanda a title shot like immediately, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I don't know. I think it would be right to give her the Juliana trilogy and then the Kayla shot.
Okay. I like both ways, and Maddie, I saw you both ways, but where are you at?
Well, I think I kind of like the storyline of active fighters. So Kayla Harrison getting Juliana Pena, and then if the story is written out the way we hope it will, Harrison gets the win. And then can you just imagine the promo for this? Like,
dude,
Amanda Nunes is like, all right, here I come, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you would be there in person. Kayla Harrison wins the championship belt. Dana White puts it around her waist, and Amanda walks into the octagon.
Ah! I'm here for it. I'm here.
The biggest fight in female history. The biggest in UFC female history, bar none.
Yep. It'd be wild. It'd be wild. Yeah, I'm kind of here for that storyline.
Okay. I think I'm leaning that way too. I was leaning her versus Juliana right away because I just want to see her smash Juliana. If Juliana puts Amanda's name in her mouth one more time, I'm gonna come after her, you know? So
that's another thing. Is like obviously like Juliana's post-fight speech. That's all it was about, and it's like get your name out of her mouth. Get her
Right.
name out of your mouth. Like it's time. Like at least just respect her for what she was. Let her be happy retired. Obviously you're not, and that's raised something in her. But
Yeah.
it's like, why didn't you just like let her go? Like, why is this so like? I don't know. Just
Why
let
is it
Amanda
such
be
a thing
Amanda.
to her? Yeah, it's like it's
It has
just
to be
making her look stupid.
Someone's just saying, "Hey, G, hey."
Hey, girl. Hey.
Before we talk more talks about UFC 307 or this weekend's UFC, G, how are you? The house Hurricane Dogs? Are you worried at all? I know you're definitely further south than me. It was like coming right to my doorstep. We got out. That's why you can see where I'm at. How are you? Okay with the storm and what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think like my area is pretty good. I know we're just gonna be getting like heavy rains, heavy winds, probably tropical storm like things, but
Yeah.
we're not too worried down here. I was about to say your area looks like it's the scary part right now.
Bro, like not
Yeah.
good. So, Chris, and I'm happy you came on. I'm going to ask you the same question, Chris. We got out of town, brother. We're in an undisclosed location. We're very safe. We got the family out. But it stinks, man. Like, I'm not going to be like just going to be real. Like, we're worried. Like, we don't know what we're coming back to. Flooding, housing, stuff flying around. It's wild. So, Chris, you're in Tampa. You're not leaving, my man?
Well,
Might have
now
to
I'm worried.
Yeah, we might have to send Chris a link here in 40 minutes after G and Carissa get him on at the end of the show. Man, yeah, dude, Tampa is going to get smashed. Smash. It is crazy stuff. All right, G, back to MMA. We talked about it a lot in the first hour. Is Alex Pereira just the best thing that's ever happened to the UFC? Is he just the best thing that's ever happened to us MMA people?
I've been saying this for the last couple weeks. I really think that he does have that potential to be like that superstar power in the UFC right now.
Go G.
Like almost like honestly, I think the only thing he's really missing from having that like say Conor McGregor-esque is being able to speak English. I feel like if he was able to do that and like just be able to translate to more to the American fans, I feel like who he is as a person, like he's this great, huge, giant, scary person who's also just kind of like likes to like play jokes and have fun and is kind of goofy. Plus, obviously, you put him in the cage and you see the terrifying person that he is. I really feel like he has what it takes to be that next like Conor McGregor superstar.
I love it. I love that so
1000%.
much. It's we talked about it so much in the first hour, G. Not even everything that he does in the octagon is everything we always dream for. MMA fans, people that cover it. He fights often. He anything short notice. He has a little Gillian Robertson in him. He fights the fights. He finishes fights. He's so entertaining.
He seems
is
to be a good
everything.
person.
Yeah, and then what the icing on the cake is what we said. He's awesome with the media now. He's so funny. He's personable. His kind of relationship with Nina has elevated him. I think the face paint, everything, the weigh-ins, he is literally the full package. It's amazing. Amazing.
Even like post fight, they were asking him about Jamahal Hill, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw him yawning post fight. What do you think that was about?" He's like, "Oh, I think he was just waking up from UFC 300."
He's witty.
I'm like that clip should have been like clicked
Everywhere.
and put everywhere because that was like one of the most gangster things I've heard.
It was so good.
If you follow Fight Bananas, Jillian, it was up there on Fight Bananas. If you follow it, I don't know.
You guys know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
You know, but no, Maddie went in on Jamahal Hill.
I did. I'm so sick of Jamahal Hill.
Yeah. We'll send you the clip. It was Maddie Levine was on one. Let's just say that she won the show.
Let's just say I'm so tired of this man, and I hope he gets fed to Khalil Roundtree next because
he got knocked out. Like he lost. Look at all those fighters. Roundtree, Izzy beat him once. Even Yuri fought him like good the first time, like, and he got to the second round. Jamahal Hill got knocked out in 3 minutes. What is he talking about? Like, why is he so cringe about him?
But even at that, it's like the fact of how he even got the belt. So it's like Yuri stepped down and him and Glover were kind of thrown into the spot. So it's not like, I don't know. It's not like he like took the belt from the champion. I feel like it was kind of like, how he got the belt. And then like, now you're going to defend it that hard, even after you get knocked out on your first defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Ever since this is a great point, Dawson. Great point here. Alex teaming up. He's always been with Glover, by the way, for a long, long time. But it's got more elevated, and Glover is great with media and socials as well. This Glover and Alex thing has been awesome for sure, for sure. We talked about this earlier. Khalil and Hill is the fight to make 2025. Oh my God, great question by. Who is more cringe, Juliana Pena or Jamahal Hill?
I think as of late, Jamahal Hill, but historically, Juliana Pena.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for Pena not to take the cake on that one.
Oh, seriously.
I saw a comment on Raquel's championship post that on Pena's championship post that said Raquel won the 6th round with that comment of, sorry, you guys have to hear her yap.
Yep, 1,000%. And we kind of touched upon it a little bit, Dave, but Kayla Harrison absolutely destroyed her during the press conference. Like
10-7.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
So good. I want to go back to that, Maddie, and I will. My first question, G, about fighting about Juliana Pena, and I'm a novice. G, we grappled once. I know we grappled for 30 minutes, and you finally submitted me of a really hard back and forth. So I'm a novice. But my real question is, why is it me or does Juliana Pena fight? Like, I feel like she's got a wood ruler attached to her shoulders. She like fights like this. She's so like,
she's very stiff. Yeah,
she's very stiff. Like she's like Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story. She can only move one way and fight. Like, am I wrong?
I definitely think she's always had a very unique and I would say like ugly fighting style. Not to say that can't work for some people, because like Yuri Prohashka has one of the ugliest fighting styles that works significantly for him. But I do think that she just like, I couldn't tell you what her game plan was going into this. You know, like she went in and she got every time she attempted a takedown, it came easy, and she was able to control Raquel for the rest of the round on the ground. So it's like, why the other 3 rounds did you not even attempt? Why did you not try when you're taking, like, they were coming so easily and you were able to control the whole time on the ground? So it's like, it didn't make sense why she went in there and fought a boxing match with Raquel for majority of the fight.
Yeah.
My thoughts exactly. I was getting so frustrated, and I just kept saying to myself, like, how are these former champions, when they're making weird fight IQ decisions, they have no movement, they're not adapting to what the opponent is giving them? I'm like, what is happening? It was so frustrating to watch.
Unfortunately, I just feel like that's where the 135 division is right now. That it's like, since Amanda left, it's like the talent isn't necessarily there anymore.
That's why we need Kayla Harrison and we need Amanda Nunes. Like, we need this to happen. So back to this comment, Mike Tesser just said DDP style is gross. And Gillian had a great one. Yuri, their fighting style to me is different, but it's not gross. Like, dude, DDP has beautiful kicks. Like, he tried to head kick Israel Adesanya multiple times. Like, his style is just different from others, and it's very unique. And Sean Strickland's a little bit of that too, but they fight well. Like, dude, Strickland's got one of the best jabs in all of MMA. Their fighting style is better. Yuri's got pop. His elbows are awesome. Juliana she fights like an amateur. Like, we're calling the fight on Island Fights, G. Like, she's just like,
it's weird. It's just weird. Yeah.
It's weird and I don't know. Anything else on 307? We talked about Alex. We talked about Juliana, Kayla a little bit. Anything else jumped at you? Jose Aldo lost. Anything else?
I guess on the Aldo loss, I was confused why people thought that, like, I feel like a lot of people were booing that. A lot of people are debating that. I feel like it was pretty obvious that he lost the fight.
Ooh, let's go, G. Go. I
had Mario winning too.
No. Okay, so I had Jose win. To me, Jose and G, I give you a huge compliment. It's all I do all the time. I am a Gillian Robertson supporter. You know this more than anything. When you and Grant Dawson's fighting this weekend, when you guys get people down, or you guys grapple, or you guys are wrestling, you're, to me, as a novice, You're always trying to win. You're always trying to submit. You're always trying to get better position. You're striking dude. I love your short elbows. Nothing is better than you on Mount G and your short elbow and the females under you, right? Michelle Watterson. Mario never did. He never struck. He never went for a submission attempt. He was just holding Aldo against the cage like this. And then when they did break up minimal time, Aldo was looking good striking. I thought Aldo looked really well. So I'm like, okay, he's not winning. He's not losing the fight. And we talked about this earlier, but I never thought he was winning the fight. And that was my take.
Yeah, I saw that. I feel like Aldo had some moments, but I saw that the majority of the fight was Mario controlling it, Like, obviously not necessarily doing anything necessarily impressive, but he was controlling the majority of the round. It was almost like Aldo versus Marab, except not as much cage time,
Yeah.
A similar kind of thing where it's like he was controlling the cage, and I don't think Aldo had enough moments to really take away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point about the Marab one. I do, but I think I don't, at least it's been a year, same pay-per-view, same Utah, all that stuff. It's been a year. I didn't feel like Marab, or I think it was 2 years ago. I don't think Marab got beat up as much as Batista, and maybe it's just a bad memory, but I don't know. I
thought Jose had good moments, but I don't think those moments won him the overall fight.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, as much as Mario's style was like, lackluster, he did enough to get the victory, I thought.
Okay.
No, I agree with that.
Okay.
I definitely disagree with how many split decisions there were this weekend.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Yeah, the judges were
all over the place.
Yeah.
So Conor McGregor and Dana White actually spoke on this whole thing, and they proposed new ideas to make fights more entertaining. So I'd love to just throw this by you guys and see what you think.
I
So
didn't see this.
Connor said, and this is a since deleted tweet, mind you. As referee, if the fighters go to the same place of stall over and over, I would be putting the position on a clock, and each time they end back there, the clock gets shorter. So I think he's referring to when they got broken up, he immediately went back. But it's
So
like,
you
how are
mean,
you going to put a clock on it?
Like he would have it for 30 seconds, and then the next time 20 seconds, and the next time 10 seconds?
I mean, again, this is a Conor McGregor tweet, so it's not sound.
I saw an Angela Hill tweet saying I can't remember which fight it was. I think it was the first fight on the prelims. They had that terrible ref that the commentators were going in on, and then he was stopping the fight every 10 seconds.
Yes.
And Angela Hill commented, she's like, can we get that ref back for Jose Aldo's fight?
Right. For real. It's so true. And then you have Dana White saying, I mean, he called it atrocious, the judging.
Yeah.
And then he said, when the guy is doing everything he can to not fight and not win the fight, as a ref, you should break it up immediately. I think that's so unfair because, like, if you're working, you can't just break it up because it's boring.
Well, I also think it's the losing person's job to break it up. It's the person on the wall or the person on the bottom that shouldn't just be sitting there holding. There was one fight, I want to say it was either this last weekend or on the French card, where I think it was a female fight where they were just holding and relying on the person. It was Marina Rodriguez this weekend. Marina Rodriguez and Lucindo. She got stood up, I want to say it was definitely once, maybe twice, by just holding her from bottom position. And it's like, all right, well, if this was like, say, an actual fight, you're never going to get stood up. You're going to stay in bottom for 2 hours and you're eventually going to lose. It's like, it's Marina's job to get up.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Marina's job to look at the ref and hold and wait.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more on that, for sure. Like, you start the fight standing up. So you're standing. Like, you are in Marina's a good striker, very good striker. She's standing. She wants to stand.
Phenomenal striking.
Yeah, phenomenal striker. There you go. Phenomenal. Yeah. She doesn't want to be on the bottom, but you did get there. Like,
now you have to work your way out.
A moment in that fight, a grappling moment, a wrestling moment, a striking moment, whatever it is, you lost a moment to get there. Now it's your job to get out. Like, you got to get out and move. It's not the ref's job to be like, oh, you're in an unhappy spot. Come on. Let's make this happy for you.
especially in a fight like that where Marina was doing phenomenal. She looked like a gangster when she was on the feet. But the second she hit the mat, it was like, oh, I'm here. There's 4 more minutes left. Cool. Like, I'm just not going to try to get up.
I'll
But
just
it's like
patiently wait.
in a fight like that, the ref is going to make a huge difference because Lucindo could sit on top for 4 minutes or have to stand up and now deal with an angry Marina.
So crazy. G, I know you love when I put you on the spot, so this is what I will do right now live. Who do you think is the biggest bet-in favorite for this weekend's upcoming UFC?
I'm going to take a guess on this one with the great Grant Dawson.
Got him.
There you go.
Got him.
Gillian Robertson, the one and only. Fight
The
Finesse
one and
family. There you
only.
go. Yeah, dude. Grant, massive bet in favor, 475.
Oh,
That's
wow.
huge because Roth is a real dude. Rafael Garcia is good. Like he is.
Oh, I was
good.
gonna
He
say
is-
the return of D-Rod. D-Rod's coming back. I can't believe this
Man.
guy's still fighting.
What's your problem with D-Rod?
I don't know. He's just like, to me, he's a skilled.
Wow.
He's skilled.
Yeah.
But like to me, when I think of D-Rod, I think of like old school MMA for some
Okay.
reason. Whether that's right or wrong.
You think like the
just-
tap out shorts, the long black tap
Right.
out shorts
That's
with the
what I'm
banger
saying.
behind them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just like,
Okay.
you're Mr. Tap Out. Like
I'm excited for the comeback of Chris Barnett this weekend too.
There you go, G.
Yep.
There you go. Island Fights veteran, Chris Barnett. Dude, he's a pretty big favorite, I think, as well. It's wild.
Never seen a big boy throw spinning kicks and shit like that.
He is
So
wild.
impressive.
Absolutely wild.
I love it.
Gee, anything else? Anything else happening? Has with the storms kind of coming through Florida, anything changing for you, or just planning schedule, keeping kicking?
Nope, we're the same always. I'm like, even if the storm was coming through, it'd still probably be the same. Just like hitting pads in the wind, something like that. It's just figure it out.
Well, try to delete some of those your archived videos of striking. Okay, you got to delete some of them, G.
So Dean's usually not there for my sparring rounds, so I
Okay.
typically have to videotape and send them to him. And something that I've always found absolutely amazing from Dean is he always takes my videos and then sends them back to me, and it has like little clips of like, oh, this is good here, or
Cool.
this isn't what we need, or this is what we like, or everything. So it's like every single sparring session gets sent to him, sent back to me, and then reviewed, and we go over it together. Just hopefully taking steps forward every day. I feel like I've said it before, but I'm like, I just feel like where I'm at in my career, I'm just so confident. I do truly believe I'm on my championship run right now.
Let's go.
We're right behind you with that one for
Yeah.
sure. I just love listening to Dean talk about it too, because you can tell Dean is so passionate about you and
Sean Brady.
Sean Brady, thank you. It's really cool to see because you need people like that in your corner.
For sure.
Oh yeah, and it's like Dean and I, we've had what is it, like 13 years now building in this.
Crazy.
I feel like we've just it's taken this long though to finally find the right formula, the right pattern, everything. We got a squeaky toy over here.
I love it. No, it's good. I love it.
But
That's
I
awesome.
feel like, yeah, Dean and I are really just on the same page right now. We both know where I need to be, and we're headed there.
So cool. Well, G, you're the absolute best. Be safe. Yeah, it's gonna be a wild couple days in Florida. We got out, but it's gonna be crazy. But G, we wish nothing but the best. We'll talk to you throughout the week, and then we'll have like a Grant Dawson celebration next week. So we'll love to have you on, like always.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be there. And well, I know you're out, but I hope everything stays safe for you up there.
I appreciate it. G, we'll talk soon. All right.
Bye.
All right, Jillian the Savage Robertson. One Savage leaves the show. Another Savage enters the show, becoming really good friends here in Fight Bananas land. Let's get on Karisa Maxwell. What's up,
Hi,
Karisa? How are you?
Hey,
Great. So good to see you guys.
thanks for
Likewise,
joining.
likewise.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
North
It's
Carolina.
beautiful and sunny. I'm hoping it stays that way for the rest of the week, but we'll see. I'm glad you're out, Dave.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, crazy. Definitely crazy. And anything, Charlotte was okay 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago?
Yeah, I mean, we lost power for about a day. There was slight flooding, a lot of trees down, but honestly,
Yeah.
compared to what's going on just an hour and a half west,
Dude.
no complaints at all.
Insane, right? Like life, people. We said it last week on the show, and Wow Wipes, the sponsor of Fight Bananas, is doing a lot of great stuff in North Carolina. Elle was awesome about it. Maddie, you've been awesome talking about it. Like, people don't understand, like, the storm comes through and it's a crazy day or two, but like the aftermath of not having water, power, electric, roads down, trees, like, people don't understand the longevity of what these storms do. It's crazy. Like I said, like, we are out, we are misplaced. We're in a school week, a soccer week, nothing of that's happening. We are out. Who knows what kind of house we're going to come back to? It's crazy. It is wild.
I mean, a storm sucks anywhere that it hits, right? But like, at least in Florida, they build buildings to withstand some measure of hurricanes, right? So they're made out of concrete, and they have their hurricane shutters.
Mm-hmm.
You don't move to the mountains expecting there to be a hurricane. So a lot of these are like log cabins, these old houses.
Yeah.
They did not have the infrastructure. They were not told to evacuate. It is, I mean, I've just been spiraling on social media, seeing the videos, checking in on friends. We live, I guess, right below the flight path of where the helicopters are coming from Fort Bragg and other staging areas. So there's just constantly supply helicopters flying over our house. It's really scary, but I'm hoping that with this next storm, it avoids hitting Charlotte, because we definitely don't need any more rain. Obviously, don't want it to Florida either. My whole family's in Florida. But yeah, man, it's scary, and it's hard to care about anything else when you've got all of this going on around you.
And I totally know what you mean about spiraling. I caught myself doom scrolling this morning of just like all of the hurricane maps and the what ifs and like just all of that. And it's so overwhelming.
Oh yeah. And especially, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it too. We're just being inundated with misinformation of what's actually happening on the ground. That resources are being spent trying to correct people rather than like inform people on what's actually happening. So it's been exhausting. It's just
I know. I think it was me and Elle talked about it. I think we mostly talked about it off air. Like, it is the most disheartening, I think, is probably the disgusting. I don't care what side you vote on. I don't care what color. People are struggling, dying. People are not doing good. Let's just help people. Like, why can't men and women just help men and women? Like, I do not give a crap. Like, it is the most disturbing thing.
It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
All right, Alex Pereira, guys.
Well, but before we get to that, what have you been up to? Because I know, we parted ways with PFL, which I was so shocked and devastated by. You did such a fantastic job on that season. So what have you been up to since then? I think you just got back from a pretty nice little vacay.
I did. Yes. And thank you. It was definitely unexpected and unfortunate to be parting with PFL. I had so much fucking fun. Like, I cannot stress enough just how much joy that job brought me. It didn't feel like a job. I just got to do what I love. And since then, not that it's been the best decision for my professional career, admittedly, but I've been trying to take a little bit of a mental break. I mean, PFL season is brutal, lots of traveling. I spend so much time away from my family, my husband, my 2 dogs, which could crash this party at any minute. And I wanted to just kind of disconnect. And I knew I had this vacation coming up for a 1-year anniversary. So I wanted to, be excited about that, not be stressed about trying to figure out what's next. It was wonderful. But now I'm trying to get back into it. And I'm going to say this now because I know it's not what you want to hear, but I'm putting it out there. I did not watch UFC 307 live.
Look at Dave's face.
But I came prepared in that it was, I wouldn't say it was a conscious choice. It was, I'm also a huge football fan. Like, I am a college football girly at my core. That was like my OG sport. So we got invited to a college football watch party, which was also a crazy night of upset games. It was wild. Yep. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't need to watch UFC. That's fine. We're good. And I just caught myself like on my phone the whole time, scrolling on X and Instagram, looking for highlights. And there was one point when, like, with the main event, because I had a few people DM me just asking my opinion on the main event. And I'm like, never bet against Chama, right? Like, Alex Pereira all the way. and I'm following on Twitter. I'm like, oh no.
Right? It's crazy. It was a crazy fight.
It was such a good fight. It was so good. And it's so funny. It's such a good comment or point, Chris, and we can kind of start there. When the best, a team like Alabama or Alex Pereira or Michael Jordan, whatever it is, whatever the best you're at, Taylor Swift at concert, whenever someone gets close to that, it's like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Because we're so used to Alabama winning, Alex Pereira knocking out someone in the first round, Michael Jordan winning, and Taylor Swift selling out. So imagine if Taylor Swift went to a 100,000 seat stadium and sold 95,000 of them. It would be one of the most amazing things ever. It's like, wait, why didn't she sell out? I felt like that was happening a little bit with the Roundtree fight. I had Roundtree winning round 1, but round 2 and 3, Alex, to me, won those rounds and looked good. Roundtree just looked good also. It was just a really great fight. That's what made it so entertaining. It was amazing. But it's so funny when the best, the man, whatever you want to say, the champion gets like pushed a little bit. People are like, what's happening? But I just thought it was a great performance by Roundtree, and then even a better performance by Pereira getting back, starting. Like, I think, Maddie, you had that great point. He found that the calf kick, the low leg kick, and that was it. Alex went ham after that.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I was like, as I'm kind of following along, I was having PTSD from PFL 5 in Salt Lake City, where a lot of the fighters didn't realize how much that altitude impacts you until you step in the cage.
Sure.
Even me, like I was walking around with my inhaler because I was out of breath doing those stairs, doing all the interviews. So as I'm following along, knowing he already had a little bit of a sickness ahead of time, I'm like, man, you can't condition for this in Connecticut.
Right. No, for sure. For sure. That's such a good point. So, and like the altitude is such a real thing. Like I was like skeptical of it. And then I remember I went to Mexico City, which has a pretty high altitude, and I'm training and it felt like an elephant was on my chest. And I'm like, I can't even imagine having to fight like this. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah. But it was, Roundtree's story is just so inspiring too. Like, looking how far he's come in the past 14 years, from his weight loss to, starting the sport, and then to put on that performance. Like, I was watching the post-fight press conference with Dana White and talking about the fans staying in the arena. You do not see that.
No.
Like college football, you see people stay to do, the alma mater, but you don't see that in any other sport. And anybody deserved it. It was him after that performance.
Totally.
We've been talking about it for an hour and a half on this show, Karisa. Alex is he's the guy. Like, he is so different. He was probably the guy before this weekend, but this weekend was the icing on the cake, the cherry on the milkshake, whatever you want to say. He is a megastar. And in our sport of MMA, we are over Conor McGregor here in Fight Bananas Land. We're over it. And I know, of course,
huh? I definitely picked up on that a little bit from Maddie.
Okay, thank you. I think Alex is the biggest star right now in MMA, any sport, PFL, Bellator, whatever, UFC. He is the guy. There's no one close to his fighting style, how much he does fight, what he does. He kind of steps up when we need him the most. He's literally Batman. It's like, we need you. We need a main event here. He steps up. He's done it 3 times this year. And then also too, like everything he does with Nina Drama, I think is a really important thing. How he connects to so many casual and MMA fans through that style in that way. I think it's so valuable. And I think this is to both you guys. People don't realize how much the media can help a mixed martial artist, because there's only so much you can do in the octagon, right? Like, there's only so much you can do in the sport, punch, kick, knockout, right? There's only so much, but what you do outside of it and connect, and your story, and if you're funny and all that stuff. And that's what Nina Drama's job is. Our job is, that's what we do with them. And I think people don't realize how much the media helps the fighters.
That was my sole purpose of existence when I was with the PFL. Yes. And he really is the full package. And even Gillian was just saying, like, if only he spoke English, right? And I always felt that way about Renan Pereira too, because he is like, Renan is just this giant teddy bear. He is like the nicest guy, but obviously when he's in the cage, it's terrifying. But I can only ever communicate with him through Google Translate. So, there's always that like weird, I want to just have a real conversation with you. but Alex has done such a good job. And I mean, you guys get it. Like, we're around fighters all the time. And for me, I'm definitely at the point where, like, I'm jaded. Like, it takes a lot for me to be starstruck at all. But I remember right after UFC 300, Alex, and because Glover coaches Loreno Staropoli, who's a PFL fighter, and he was fighting in Chicago. And Glover was there, and Alex was there to corner. And it was literally like the weekend after. And I ran into Alex in the lobby. And I think that's like the only time in my career working combat sports where I kind of just froze. And I was like, because you want to be like, wow, what a great performance. Congratulations. That was like one hell of a fight.
Yeah.
But I know he's not going to understand what I'm saying. And he's going to say back. So it's just like that awkward stare where I was like, congrats. Good job.
You did a really good job.
Like, good job. And then it was definitely one of those moments, you know, when you like say goodbye to someone, but you end up walking the same direction in your car. That was me and Alex down the hallway of the training hotel, where I was like, congrats, great job. He's like, thank you. And then we just walked down this long hallway together.
I just got secondhand embarrassment from that story. Oh my God. Because that's such a real thing. And like, of all the people to have that happen with, of course, it's Alex Pereira. But I will say, I've noticed on Pereira's Instagram lately, and just on his social media, he's doing a much better job of putting his captions in English and then in Portuguese. So I'm like, he's working on it for sure.
For sure. So. And I think I think he's the biggest star in all of MMA, but you know, probably people around his team, Glover, his manager, all that stuff, they know he's so close. Like, he is so close from like anything he wants. And I know he's gonna, I know he's kind of talked about the boxing thing, and maybe he will, maybe not. And sometimes that's a big money fight, but he's getting to a point of another win or two, and especially, I hate saying Americanize himself, but just a little bit more and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Like, the world's his oyster. Like, literally, if he wants to box Tyson Fury, God forbid if Jake Paul, if any of this thing really happens, whatever, anything this man. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, just stop right there.
Not a Jake fan, Karisa, huh? Not a Jake fan.
It's not that. It's okay. So before I was working PFL, I covered boxing, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. Have we seen a single MMA fighter make that transition to boxing and win a fight?
I don't think so.
No. Like, only if they box other MMA people. Because I went, Game Bred Boxing had a really cool show. It was like Vitor Belfort versus Jacare Souza, and it was fun. But I get what you're saying. A MMA fighter never went into boxing and boxed a boxer and won. No.
I mean, it's a money grab, and I totally understand it, especially with the Saudi money. And Francis very well could have beaten Tyson Fury, right? Like, but which brings me into my whole thing with Alex is like a plea to Alex to please not move up into the heavyweight division, and I'll get to that in a second. But like, I really think after this year of working in MMA, just keep sticking with MMA. Like, keep the MMA fighters with MMA. If boxers want to transition to MMA and try a new skill set like Clarissa Shields, I'm all for it, because I think they're learning something, learning these new disciplines. But the boxing to me now is just such a money grab. And you're limiting the skills that you have, that you've trained your entire career for. I'm just I'm getting a little tired of it, I guess. But because there's so much money in it.
Before, if you want to talk about Alex and heavyweight, and before that conversation comes up, Maddie had a good question kind of about you, and you said something. So what is kind of right now your avenue for the rest of the year, or a goal for the rest of the year, or do you have something sight on 2025, or is it kind of just like, let's see how this goes, or what's kind of your take right now? What's next for you?
What do I want to be when I grow up?
I'm still that way. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like, I've been asked that a lot lately, and I don't know, because I feel like with what I was doing with PFL, I was so close to like the dream job, right? Like, the next step was to maybe be on the broadcast. The next step was to maybe, you know, go, if Francis was to box again, go and cover that fight. So now I don't want to say I'm being picky, but like, I just want to feel that same joy. I'm not ready to give up on that just excitement and that joy that I felt going to work every day. But kind of going back to why I was watching college football on Saturday, not UFC, I definitely felt why I felt. Do you remember the show like Kimmy Schmidt? What was it called?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The talented or the something unspeakable or
whatever. I felt like that because like I ended with the PFL and I'm like, what are these other sports? Who plays on these teams? What do they do? I don't know anything outside of the PFL. And I'm going to like educate myself again. So I'm not limiting myself to MMA. I keep getting sucked back in because when you're a part of it for so long, as you know. But yeah, like, I don't know. I've had a few good conversations. There's a few things in the works, but the one thing I know I definitely want to keep doing is I want to keep storytelling. I want to keep having meaningful conversations with, doesn't necessarily need to be athletes, but anybody. I think my dogs have ignored me. I know my husband has because I just am talking a mile a minute all the time because I'm used to asking everybody else questions and now I'm asking them questions and they're over it. So for the rest of the year, I'm doing some soul searching, networking, reaching out, trying to figure out. But I'm trying to stay positive that, I will find a great home, a great landing spot in 2025. And I'll continue to do the things that I feel like I was meant to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, you and I are on a very similar journey, Karisa. And like a lot of the things that you're saying, I'm like, yep. I just recently quit my full-time radio gig because I was like, this is what I like to do. I like to be immersed in sports and storytelling and, being a broadcast journalist and all that good stuff. And it's a grind for sure. So just know that you're not alone. We are in this together.
Yeah, no, you want to know what's really crazy? And like, I have so much respect for what Nina Drama does.
Yeah.
Right? And I think there was this weird expectation that like I was going to be her of the PFL, which was never my goal at all because we're very different. I respect what she does. I didn't necessarily want to do that. And that's not my skill set. But even now more so, like being at home and knowing, okay, I really need to make content. I need to put myself out there. I need to do this stuff. I give her so much credit because it is like exhausting just constantly thinking of what to do and the editing. Like, I don't know if she does all of her own editing at all, but I'm like, I don't feel like brushing my hair today.
It's wild. So last week was my first week of like trying this shit. And I'm like, I need to figure out a schedule. I need to figure out how to like do this better and like have content calendar. Like it is so overwhelming. And I think at this point she probably has a team behind her. But when she first started out, she didn't, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, what's the secret sauce? Tell me, Nina. I need to know.
No, and I'm telling you, and I think Maddie, and you know this a little bit of the secret sauce is just nonstop. Like the secret sauce is just never stop. Like people like
post the video. That's what they always say. Just
not even that, like everything. Like people, it's so funny because we, Maddie, how many people are under Fight Bananas and so many people are doing different things. People have night schedules, people have early schedules, people live on the West Coast, East Coast, it's all that stuff. So it's like I get messaged or called all the time with this thing. And it's just like from 5:45 a.m. to 1:15 a.m. the other way. It's like, hey, I'm going to post this. I'm going to do this article. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. This artwork needs to happen. And it's just like, I say it the whole time. I think I'm decent. I think I can communicate. I think I can do commentary. I do commentary. It's all this stuff. I think I'm okay. But like my secret sauce, I just don't stop. Like I just, for years now, it's like Monday through Sunday, there's a couple little breaks. People don't understand how much time and effort and like that nonstop. I think that's like, at least for me. And I don't think I'm nearly as what I want to be one day, but like, I think the secret sauce is like the nonstop. It's just like, it's every hour, every minute, every 30 minutes, it's just nonstop. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I don't drink Celsius. Maybe I need to start because
I definitely need to start that. Definitely need to start caffeinating.
Yeah. How's your cup, Maddie? Let me see. Is it just?
Oh, it's gone. Oh,
it's
that's
dead?
gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
100% gone.
Yeah, that's dude. Maddie was on one in the first hour. Oh my goodness.
I
Like,
heard. I've been listening since the start, and you know what?
MVP.
though.
It's unreal.
I need caffeine to get through the day. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you. I'm like a 3 or 4 iced coffee person a day. Like it's. Yeah. I got like new gum. I got like caffeine gum. Have you guys seen this out there yet?
I have.
That is the last thing that you need, Dave.
Dude, you don't under. Yeah, no,
you need a glass of water and some vegetables because you don't get either of those.
Yeah,
you need to get Dave a Stanley Cup.
Yes. I'm a basic bitch. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't know what that is, but anyways, all right. Just
anyway, guys, good news. Almost at 1,000 subscribers
on
our new YouTube channel.
YouTube page, dude. I missed the old one, Maddie. I'm not gonna lie.
I know it was bumping. It was definitely bumping, but that's okay.
Facebook's amazing, but okay, Maddie. I saw okay. I'm sorry, Krista. You said something about college football, and I think, dude, we are huge. I think Maddie's the same way a little bit. We love Instagrams. Just they call it stalking. The kids do it, but like you just watch everyone's on Instagram. Like that's just what you do on stories.
Dave, I believe they call it creeping.
Yes.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not that cool. I'm 40.
Okay.
All right. I'm not that cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, I saw a fun thing that you had. You were making fun of a picture that someone posted of you like way long ago. Okay, there you go. I'm on to something, right? I'm on to something. So
yeah. So I was at a bar. I went to Penn State and we were trying to watch Penn State game. And we kept telling him to put it on. I think the game is like on Fox or something. And we're like, it's on Fox Sports. And they're like, we have it on. No, it's not. It's not that. And I'm like, dude, I will prove it to you because like I'm not wrong. So I Google quick, knowing an SEO article is going to pop up. So I like literally Google, what channel is the Penn State game on? And the first article that pops up, the header image is a very unflattering picture of me from my sophomore year of college in the stands at the football game cheering. I graduated college, not to like share my age. I graduated college in 2013, which means that this photo was from like 2010.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do we not have updated Getty images?
Like we don't have updated fan base? Come on.
Like I'm like this photo is like 12 years old.
and that's what I was saying. Like to go with it, like. So someone on the article, like they have to like, because we do articles in Fight Bananas and like we have a picture stock, but like you don't do Alex Pereira's from his first fight because he looks different. He's a different guy. And sometimes the gloves are different. Like you don't remember like last year, Maddie, they had the UFC 100 or 300, whatever it is. Like if we post a picture now, you don't want those gloves on it because it's old. Like that was a thing. Like, it's so wild that someone had to make that decision. Like, oh, that's the picture from 2012. Like you said, like, that is wild.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I'm like, who do I need to email right now and send like a Karen-esque email? Like, please remove this photo.
I need to write a letter.
Yeah, I would like to speak to your manager immediately.
That's amazing.
Dude, talking about writing a letter. So, we did a giveaway on the new YouTube channel, and people are super in. I don't know if you girls know this yet. People are super into cards, like sports cards, UFC cards it is a trend, really, really hot trend. So like we do these card breaks with Grant Dawson, who's fighting this weekend. Shout out Grant. And so I have all these cards and like, I like them a little bit. Maybe my kids will like them when they get older, but like I have a ton of cards. So I'm like, hey, we're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to show a picture of these cards. And if you want it, I'll mail it to all these people. I'm not joking. I've mailed out over 300 cards. You know how many postage stamps and envelopes?
That's wild.
I'm not joking, Maddie. You'll love this about me. On every single one, because sometimes a card, I put it even a whole, like a hard plastic, put it in the envelope. It was just like, you could see it or stick it. So what I did, I wanted the piece of paper around the card. So I can't just send a blank piece of paper. So everyone I wrote, thank you for subscribing to our channel and sign my name on it. Every single one. It was the most exhausting
Why
thing
didn't you take a video?
The most exhausting thing ever.
So did you like have a newfound appreciation for when your wife did all your wedding invitations? Because Maddie and I do not feel any sympathy for you at all.
Karisa, I am a 24/7, 7-day-a-week appreciation for my wife. She is the everything, dude. She is.
I will vouch. I will vouch.
Yeah, thank you, Maddie. Yes. She needs anything or wants to get anything, I will triple down on that. She is the queen. So there you go. That's that.
That's right. Is she on the other side of the camera, just like staring at you and holding the ring light, interrogating you?
No, they it's so funny. So we're in our Susie's parents' house, right? We're just away from the storm, and so we went in this room. It's a makeshift thing, and they're like, "Hey, lock the door." And I was like, "Darling, you really want me to lock the door? Because it's like there's a bathroom attached to it. There's our clothes." She's like, "No, don't lock it, just in case." But no, they're all outside there. They're crazy life, guys. Crazy life. But no, just so like long story short, but like, yeah, so many. I've been mailing out cards right and left, and we did it again. I had people like on Saturday, our live show was amazing. So I was sending out more cards. So it's just been crazy. It's been a good time. But I said this to Maddie, Karisa, and I hope you're not upset, or maybe you are. Maybe you are not happy with the PFL, and that's more than fine or understandable. But I am tomorrow, the next day. I'm coming after the PFL a little bit. I got a bone to pick with the PFL. So you'll see it on Fight Bananas.
Yeah, I heard you say that earlier, and I'm very curious.
Right?
I got some stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean I left on good terms. They're going through some changes. It wasn't like a thing where it was like, have a nice life. Maybe I go back next season. I don't know. I think a lot of people didn't realize I was a full-time employee of the PFL. It wasn't like I was contracted. So, when you're paying my full salary and my benefits and all that, I think we all understand that in this industry, you should just be contract. So that way you can take other opportunities and knowing that, especially like working for a league that's a season format. So it ended on good terms. Obviously, I'm sad. I should be packing to go to Saudi Arabia right now. I should be on a plane on Friday and flying out there. And I'm bummed, but I think the best part of everything that went down is immediately after the amount of fighters and personalities that reached out to me. I mean, Dave, you called me right away. But like so many fighters reached out to me and they were just so sad. And just made me feel, appreciated and just really lucky to have those relationships. So maybe I'll be back. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to your video that Dave. I'm not gonna lie.
It's coming. It's coming. I'm getting my thoughts. I'm getting the thumbnail made. I got some stuff. It's just
I love it.
they have such an opportunity. Like they got 2 big shows coming. They have their big one in Saudi Arabia, the Francis fight, and then of course they have like the championships. And it's wild. And someone said, "Dave, drop your beef." It's not a beef. It's realism. It's like they had this huge opportunity in front of them, and I don't think they're doing it correctly. I don't think they're striking while the iron's hot and stuff of that nature. So just gonna, and Maddie, I'm like the most positive person ever. So it's like I never do anything negative.
I get so angry at Dave because he never will he loves to ride the line. He's Switzerland all the time. And I'm just like, just jump the line, do something. So I'm excited. To hear it.
I think it's good. I mean, obviously I agree that there's like a lot of opportunities that they could be jumping on. There are things they could be doing better. But it's a startup. They've been around for what, 5 years.
Yeah.
There's always changing. And this isn't even me necessarily defending them. This is me who's worked for a lot of startups and I've seen a lot of crazy shit go down throughout my career. They're figuring it out. And unfortunately, I was collateral damage while they're figuring it out. But I do think one thing I will say, obviously the caliber of talent, the PFL as a whole is not what you're going to see on a UFC roster. I think that is common sense, I fear, as the kids say on the TikTok. But I don't completely agree with what Dana White was saying after the fight about how Kayla Harrison fighting tomato cans. Like she lost to Larissa Pacheco, who's now fighting this co-main event against Chris Cyborg on a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. Like there is some value to what the PFL is trying to do. Can they do it better? Absolutely. But I don't know. I love the fighters too much to just totally, trash them and make them seem that this is, the JV league when they're getting an opportunity that the UFC wouldn't give them.
Yeah, and honestly, it's really not the fighter's fault.
No.
It's the UFC is a media production machine, and that is why they are number one, and that is why fighters want to go to the UFC. Where the PFL is lacking is that machine. Like they need to figure out a better way to make it more movie-esque, if you will. A little more. They need a little more Hollywood in their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it's like going back to the whole, Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison trash talking at the press conference, and you don't get that in the PFL, which is it's a great thing because it's merit based and you just have to fight your way to the championship. But at the same time, these fighters aren't able to put themselves out there.
There's no storylines.
Yeah.
Great point by both of you. And it's so funny you guys said that because I thought about that Saturday night, and Alex and Roundtree were very respectful to each other all week long. And people were still, of course, super excited about the fight because of Alex. But I thought about it in a weird way. I was like, because in sports, I feel like, of course, there's this always clash of game. Karisa, what's better, Ohio State versus Michigan or Ohio State versus University of Minnesota? Of course, it's Ohio State, Michigan, and not why, because the hatred for each other. And us in combat sports, I don't think there's anything better when it's Poirier and Connor and they're visceral with each other and they're spitting at each other at the thing. And I know people might be like, oh, that's a little bit too far, but it's like, there's just nothing like it. Like Rocky IV is amazing because you had the big bad Russian and you had Rocky Balboa, the American underdog, and there's this humongous conflict, and then you fight, and there's a winner and a loser, and that's what's so amazing about it. And sometimes I feel like the PFL, there's just too much of like, no, it's fighter A versus fighter B, and yeah, the best wins, and just keep moving on. It's like, no, like I need some once in a while, like it's okay for to be angst. Like you need Darth Vader, you need the Joker, and you need Batman, and you just need this back and forth and this, rival. And sometimes I think that's where the PFL maybe misses out on some of that. They don't have that visceral hatred, this angst against each other. So it seems like there's too much of, hey, good game.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different though with Dakota, right? Like she loves the women on that flyweight roster the wrong way. She gets under their skin, and it's not Dakota talking shit. Like she just knows how to kind of poke the bear. So that was fun. It was always fun working with her and the fighters. I mean, Tyla started talking shit about Dakota the
first day.
The first day, but like even when Dakota stepped in the ring with Jenna, or the cage with Jenna Bishop, from that moment, I was sitting next to Tyla, cage side, and she's chanting Jenna, like so I'm like, this is great. Like I'm loving this right now. Yeah. So I think Dakota is hopefully helping and changing that narrative a little bit. And like we saw in Miami with, I don't know if you were paying attention with Impa Kasanganay and Josh Silveira, like they were talking shit. Like that was a very contentious week between the two of them for two of the nicest guys on the PFL roster.
I was going to say, that's kind of shocking.
Yeah. No, it was. Like I was doing the talking shit episode, sponsored by Dude Wipes, and I'm sitting there and I remember, I don't remember what I asked, but Impa starts talking and my eyes are just getting like bigger and bigger. Looking at the camera and I'm looking at people around me and I'm like, I wasn't prepared to respond to this because this is,
my gosh,
this is not who Impa is. But it was great because, and then they put on a great fight again. It went to the end of the decision. Of course, Impa won in the championship, but that energy that we felt all week, that is what the PFL is missing every fight week. They need those, they need that energy. And I still agree with the merit-based format, but I don't know how to get the fighters to feel like it's okay to be a little bit of an asshole. Like there's an art to it.
You mentioned a wipe, and I don't know what that is. Yes. Here in Fight Bananas, the only wipes we know is Wow Wipes, Karisa. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's
what? I like Wow Wipes a lot because of what they're doing in Western North Carolina. I applaud that. The other wipe company does not sponsor me. They do not pay me, so I do not care about them either. But I would like to commend Wow Wipes for their donation to help victims of the hurricane because that is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great company, great products. We use it. We love them. Shout out Wow wipes. There you go. Thanks for paying the bills. The electric is paid for another 30 days. Thank you so much. Now, Chris, have anything else? Any last words? Any last things you want to shout out, promote, say? Floor is yours.
Oh man. Well, just to quickly touch on what I was saying earlier about, I know that Alex has been teasing the teasing going up to heavyweight division. Per my earlier comments about MMA fighters staying out of boxing, I really don't think any of us need to relive the trauma of the heavyweight division of boxing, where you have the people holding onto the belts and holding them hostage, and these fights never happening. And we're already seeing that in the heavyweight division right now. So we don't need another top fighter to go in there and add to the frustration of never having a new champion. So that's my quick note on that. It's just been a really long 5 years of dealing with the Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Alexander Tyson Fury drama. So there's that. Yeah. Other than that, I am just like, I fucking miss you guys. And by you guys, I mean like with the media, the fans, the fighters. I found out a week into Fun Employment that I do not have what it takes to be a trophy wife. I cannot be a stay-at-home trophy wife. It's just not my brand. I can't do it. Shout out to those who can. I am expensive because I'm remodeling my whole house now because I'm stuck here. So, you know, I'm just really, really excited to get back into it, start storytelling again. And I'm just excited to see what happens next. And, you know, you'll be part of the journey, but yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I love it. And we're good. I think if Fight Bananas over here picking up some tea leaves, if the tea that you were spilling throughout this, fun talk, you think maybe in 2025, Karisa might be talking into a microphone with a football field in the background or basketball court in the background or a plethora of different options? Is that something that could happen in 2025?
I would love that. You know, I'm not counting that out. Like I said, I'm re-educating myself on sports outside of MMA right now. But yeah, no, I'm not closing any doors. PFL was such a great opportunity that just it felt like it appeared out of thin air just at the right time. And I'm hoping that was just a stepping stone for what's next, because there's still so much more I want to do. There's so many stories I want to tell. And I'm hoping I can find a home to do that successfully. But in the meantime, you know, I might have to pull a Maddie and, you know, kind of launch my own projects just to keep the rust off, stay fresh, keep these conversations going. Especially, like, trust me, it's killing me. Like, not necessarily not being on that, 20-something hour flight to Saudi Arabia. I could do without that. But the interviews that I wanted to do, the questions I wanted to ask for fighters on that card, even more so now, because since I'm not working for the PFL, I don't have to ask like PFL friendly questions.
Yeah.
You know, there's part of me that's like, man, maybe I should, reach out to John Yeblin and find out what really went down with that OnlyFans model.
Literally go live with them on your own Instagram.
Yes. Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it.
That's kind of where I'm right now. But there's a lot of no hates PFL. There's a lot of really awesome fights coming up. Interview is going to be great. At the championship, I know we haven't seen a lot of promotion around it, but it's going to be great.
Oh, wait, you haven't seen promotion for it, huh? That's so interesting.
You brought up the promo video for the pay-per-view, and I don't know if you picked up on this, but it's my voice in the very beginning.
No, awesome. I actually did not. That's actually, I did not.
Yeah. So that's awkward. But
that's awkward.
But wait, their champions are fighting soon, Karisa?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard this, but you know,
I cover mixed martial arts for a living, and
they fight for $1 million. You know,
crazy.
Yeah,
I have Chris. I have no idea.
Hey, I'm hoping after the pay-per-view is said and done, you know, they'll be able to redirect the spotlight onto the guys and women who have fought so hard this season. But yeah, it's all in on pay-per-view right now, and it has been.
I can't wait to drop my PFL video. It is.
We can't wait.
Can my graphic artist make the thumbnail already? I need the thumbnail so I know what I'm working with. But guys,
Karisa Maxwell, my phone. I'm excited.
I love it. I'll send you the link for sure. Karisa, we appreciate you. We are massive fans of you. Not even just your work, you personally, we're just massive fans of Karisa Maxwell. So, tell your husband, don't work that hard in the bath. Like, dude, I saw you, the IG story. You got him like putting new walls up and stuff. The tiles were so small.
Let him do it, Dave.
Yeah.
Give that man a break.
like my camera is very strategically positioned because what you do not see is like a pile of construction stuff over here, a garbage can and tile over here. Like we are in full on construction mode here.
Love it.
Trust me, if nobody wants me out of the house more than my husband right now, so don't worry.
Amazing. Well, thanks for joining us, Karisa. I'm sure we'll be talking soon, and best of luck with everything.
Yes, thank you guys. Always a pleasure, and we'll definitely talk soon.
Awesome.
Later.
Take care.
Cool. Thank you. All right, Karisa Maxwell, dude, what a stud. What a stud.
She's great.
Maddie, what a good show, dude. Tell me about the fastest 2 hours in showbiz.
It is. See, but the thing is, I mentioned this earlier. I think I threw out my back. I'm 31 years old, and I slept funny, and my back hurts. So I'm gonna go lay down and figure out what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life until we talk about fights again.
Sounds good. Maddie, you're the absolute best. We will have those videos of you destroying Jamahal Hill on our social media platforms very, very soon.
If he sees those, I'm gonna die.
Oh, but he see, I know someone very close to Jamahal Hill. I will send it to him and her personally. So let's just say that. All right. So he will see them. It's happening.
Don't send it to her. That's all I'm saying.
That's not a thing.
We'll do it on the off-air show.
Okay. All right. Guys, have a great day. Everyone stay safe out there. The hurricane's really serious. Stay safe. Maddie, you're the best. We'll see everyone next week, and enjoy the Contender Series tonight. Later. Grant